Hey guys, welcome to my channel. There's a lot of spoilers ahead, so viewer discretion is advised. So, let's jump in. The movie today we are going to recap is Spenser Confidential. Boston Police Detective Spenser arrives with his partner, Driscoll, to the home of Captain John Boylan. While questioning Boylan, Spenser catches sight of Mrs. Boylan's bloody face and beats Boylan senseless. Spenser is brought up on charges as a result, pleads guilty, and is sentenced to prison. While incarcerated, Spenser studies to become a truck driver, and after 5 years is released. Shortly before his release, Spenser is assaulted in the library by 3 inmates, to warn him to leave Boston and never return. Spenser is met outside by his friend Henry Simile. They drive to Simile's residence, where Spenser is reunited with Driscoll. Spenser takes up residence in Henry's home with his roommate, Hawk, while he prepares for his new career and a planned move to Arizona. Boylan receives a call summoning him to a meeting at a bus yard. Upon his arrival, an SUV intentionally collides with his car. Boylan is dragged from the vehicle by and murdered. The next morning, Detective Terrence Graham is discovered murdered in his SUV, the one used to ram Boylan's car. Spenser and Henry learn about Boylan's death shortly before Driscoll and his partner arrive at the residence to question him about his possible involvement in the murder. Henry provides Spenser with an alibi and cites Hawk as another alibi. Upon their return home, a news report implicating Detective Graham in Captain Boylan's murder inspires Spenser to investigate the murder due to his past acquaintance with Graham and his belief that he was unlikely to commit suicide. Spenser meets up with Letitia and questions her about the night of the murder, before heading to a local police bar where she said Graham had been the night of the murder and meeting with Scotty Traylor, Terrence's partner. Traylor confirmed Letitia's story and Spenser's suspicion that Terrence had suspected Boylan of being dirty. Spenser gains access to the CCTV footage from the convenience store across the street where he observed Terrence getting into a Corvette, while a pair of unknown individuals got into his SUV and followed the Corvette. The next day, Spenser visits the bus yard where he discovers a toothpick on the ground similar to the ones Driscoll uses. He then heads to Driscoll's gym to ask him about the murder case. Driscoll attempts to dissuade him from digging into the case and denying having been to the crime scene. Spenser conducts a foot chase of a Corvette similar to the one on the CCTV footage, only to be attacked by a dog. Hawk catches the license plate number of the car, which they trace back to Charles Bentwood. Spenser, Henry, and Hawk begin surveillance of Bentwood and observe him making a hand off to Macklin and discover that an FBI team led by Agent Burton is also surveilling. Spenser returns to MCI Cedar Junction to question Squeeb, which leads him to Wonderland Greyhound Park, the site of a future casino, where he's escorted off of the property. Driscoll and Macklin decide to kill Spenser. A group of thugs attempt to kill him at a restaurant, but he's rescued by Hawk. Knowing that Henry's house is no longer safe, Spenser calls his ex, Sissy, to secure a place for Henry, Hawk, and himself to stay. Letitia's apartment has been tossed. She calls Spenser for help, and when he shows up she provides him with a recording that Terrence had mailed to her on the day he was killed of a meeting between Terrence and Boylan, confirming that Boylan was dirty and implicating Bentwood, Macklin, and Driscoll. Spenser confronts Driscoll and offers him the chance to turn himself in, which he declines. Spenser then brings it to Agent Burton, who deems it insufficient evidence. Spenser tracks down Bentwood and interrogates him, resulting in Bentwood's confession that there's a shipment of drugs coming to Wonderland that day. Spenser and Hawk find the shipment and force it off the road, then take down 2 of the gang members inside, with the third escaping. They uncover the shipment. Spenser's reporter contact declares the drugs to be insufficient evidence. Spenser gets a video call from Henry's phone from Driscoll. Driscoll demands a meeting with Spenser at Wonderland, threatening to kill Henry if he doesn't comply, telling Spenser to bring the drugs. Spenser, Hawk, and Sissy go to Wonderland where Driscoll and others are gathered on the track. Spenser and Hawk arrive in a truck and plow through the gang members' vehicles. Driscoll flees into the racetrack's old clubhouse and Spenser pursues him, culminating in a brawl between the 2 of them that results in Spenser performing a citizen's arrest, making use of Driscoll's own cuffs to subdue him. They pile the drugs and other evidence on the infield and lead Driscoll, Bentwood, and Macklin restrained nearby. Spenser and Hawk are declared heroes. The casino project is shut down. Boylan and Driscoll are charged in Wisniewski's murder, and Driscoll is convicted and sent to prison.